Set.
Okay, you have the stage, TP, anytime you like. Yes?
Yeah, rolling.
Do you want to mark it, Randy?
No, rolling. Action.
Well, this is where I lived in 1961, and that was the year that I visited Paddy Kavanagh in Bagot Street. He wasn't very well, but he was recovering and they were trying to get rid of him. And he said to me, I have nowhere to stay. I have night and things to write for the Farmer's Journal. I said, he said, there's a kind of a spare room in our house, which was a little bit reckless of me to say, as things turned out. It didn't go down very well with my wife. But anyway, I collected him and brought him to this house. And he stayed in that room up there. That was his view of the world for 10 days. And then I think he was made to leave.
How was the news broken? Who broke it and how did that happen?
Well, the idea was that Paddy would stay, well, for a week anyway. But a week went by and then it ran into the second week and we had a lot of young children and my wife began to get a little bit impatient. And she said to me, you'll have to ask him to leave. Well, of course, I was a coward. Ireland's greatest poet asked him to leave my house. I couldn't do that. So she said, well, I'll ask him. And we heard him coming down the stairs and she rushed out and I rushed after her. Couldn't stop her. And before he got to the bottom, 2 steps up, she started into a very reasonable tirade, saying that we were not equipped to have a permanent guest in the house and so on. And she said, you'll have to leave. So there was a long pause, and he looked at her, and I looked at the ground, and then he said, I'm sorry for you. You're an ignorant woman. And walked down past. Now, that may sound crude, but the actual fact was that over the 10 days he'd been staying in this house, he had actually grown very fond of her. And he'd say things like, where is she? Where's she home? Where's that woman? And I think what he meant by that was, can't you see how much you're hurting me? It's a sad little story.